It's Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to give this video a like, share this video and all my videos all over your social media, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Would really appreciate that. I want to get right into some of these articles today. Feel free to comment down below on any of these articles. I'll start with this first one. None of these are in any order. But again, feel free to comment down below. A lot happening right here in the United States and around the world. Winter storm threatens parts of Texas. They're saying that it could dump a year's worth of snow in just one day. They're getting snow, they're getting cold temperature, they're getting freezing rain. And, you know, it makes you really think about how fast a natural disaster can occur, a man-made disaster. It was, what, a couple years ago when a lot of people lost their lives in Texas because it got so cold and they were not prepared for it. And we see the grocery store shelves in a lot of these states go empty, you know, a day or two before one of these big storms rolls in, and people wait till the very end. Please get your preps in order. If you need food and water, go get that stuff today. Don't wait for something to happen. It does not have to be a natural disaster. We're going to see man-made disasters and we're going to see problems. So make sure that you're getting your preps put away right now. Here's another one today. Los Angeles braces for life-threatening and destructive windstorm. Now I'm looking out right now. It is windy here in the desert, but nowhere near as windy as parts of LA. Up to 100-mile-per-hour winds, extreme risk of fire, wind advisory in effect until 6 p.m. today. That is unbelievable. I haven't seen too much of it on the news today, but the weather is very strange today. We're getting a lot of wind here. It's cloudy, it's cold. We were just literally 80 a couple days ago, and now it's very cold, windy, a little bit of drizzle earlier today, but nothing like what's happening in other parts of the country, what's happening up in LA with this wind advisory. Bitcoin drops below 97,000 as Treasury yields pressure risk assets. Dow Jones today down 175, NASDAQ down 375. 10-year bond yield, as I make this video, is sitting at 4.69%. And people say, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is, this is basically what the 10-year, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate is based off of, your credit card APRs, your car loans. This is what it's all based off of. It's based off the 10-year bond yield. And that bond yield is almost at 4.7% as I make this video. So the price or the cost to borrow money is getting more expensive. You want to go buy a house today, I checked bankrate.com, 30-year fixed rate, 7.04%. Going to get much more difficult for people to go and purchase a home. Bitcoin, as I make this video, is down $5,400. It's amazing, the volatility. It really is the volatility that we see with a lot of these cryptos. Rate cut odds plunge as ISM Services Inflation Index surges near 2-year high. What do you think? Are they going to cut rates again? I think it's very possible that they're going to be put in a situation where they're going to have to raise interest rates. I just saw the new president coming in January 20th, and he's talking about inflation is too high in this country, highest possibly it's ever been. We don't know the real numbers, but whatever the number is, it's way too high, and it is absolutely destroying households here in America. It's destroying wages, it's destroying purchasing power, and you're not going to beat inflation by cutting rates. You're going to cause more inflation. They must raise rates, and we've got to get prices under control. We've got to get spending under control. There's a lot of things that are going to happen in order for the average American to have some purchasing power. Again, we need good jobs, well-paying jobs. That would help. But all of this crazy spending that this country commits day in and day out has got to come to an end, or inflation is just, we're going to see hyperinflation if we're not careful. Job openings unexpectedly soar on record 2-month surge in professional services, even as hiring tumbles. This on the Hedge Day. Do you even believe that these jobs exist? I mean, we were talking about this over the summer. People applying for 100, 200, 300 jobs, never getting a call back. How many of these jobs that they tell us even exist today? How many are even real? How much of this data is even real. You know, when somebody wrote me last week saying, how can we be in a recession, you know, with unemployment at 4.2% and GDP at 3%, the only way that's even possible is if you believe the data. Again, look at the GDP. How much is included in GDP with the money we're sending to other countries financing wars? That all gets included in the GDP. How about all the government jobs? That's all part of the GDP. So all this stuff is very, very manipulated. A lot of it is just a big fat lie. And if you believe the numbers, you believe the data, then I don't know what to tell you. I certainly do not believe it, but I believe we're going to start seeing more real data come out after January 20th. Another article today from The Hedge. High interest rates are healthy, low rates are poison. A couple of points here in the article. Low rates, loose credit are poison that tastes so good we can't stop consuming more. Isn't that the truth? People love loose credit. They love low rates. They can go out and finance stuff, loose credit. They can have 20 credit cards. They love it. And so we continue to consume. 70% of our GDP is consumption, which is insane. And it is going to destroy this country if we keep on this path. High interest rates and tight credit standards force consumers to discipline their financial habits to save money and pay down debts. So true. Another one today from The Hedge. Behold the era of Fartcoin's majesty. Check this out. We talked about this the other day. Fartcoin's capitalization is at $1.3 billion, now worth more than 1,000 companies in the Russell 300 index. These are companies with products and services. Many generate cash or on a path to generate cash. Yet this thing, Fartcoin, has a capitalization of $1.3 billion. Unbelievable. Remember, cryptos are speculative assets. If you want to gamble, you can afford to gamble, you can afford to lose the money, go for it, do whatever your heart desires. There are too many people that are doubling down on this stuff. They're borrowing money to gamble into these cryptos, and they could rug pull this at any time. And I think a lot of the cryptos are really tied to the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ gets into trouble, cryptos get into trouble. And we saw that again today. As you know, Bitcoin's down $5,500, $5,600. NASDAQ was down $375. These get rich quick scams, the cash grabs, the gambling. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Please be careful. Make good, educated decisions out there. Again, if you can afford to lose the money, you can afford to gamble. There are people making money. There's no doubt. Nobody can argue that. But people are going to stay in this a little too long. They're going to borrow too much money to do it, and they are going to be a part of a cash grab. A rug pull. You better be careful. Here's one today. Historic office building on Manhattan's Park Avenue sells at 40% discount. Here we go again. And when nobody's talking, I watch these financial channels every day, and nobody talking about the commercial real estate catastrophe that's taking place. 470 Park Avenue sold Monday for $147.5 million. It's 300 square feet, historic, beautiful building. The property was bought in 2018 by SJP Properties and PGIM for $245 million. And you know, what's sad and what might be true is they might have overpaid for this building at $147 million. Don't know that for sure. We're going to find out in the next couple of years, but they may have overpaid. UFC's Dana White joins Meta's board weeks before Trump takes office. What do you all think about this? Mark Zuckerberg, do you trust him? He's changing his tune. They're going to do some similar things to what X is doing, getting rid of the fact checkers. I don't know. Wall Street Journal, Meta ends fact checking on Facebook, Instagram in free speech pitch. You know, I think it's great, but if Kamala would have won, would he have done this? Would he have done this? I think it's great because I think at some point people need to think for themselves. They've got to come to their own conclusion. I think people have the right to say whatever they want to say. and you have a right to listen to whoever you want to. If you don't like it, you turn the channel, you turn the page. You just do what you got to do. But I don't think anybody should dictate what you can listen to, what you can't listen to. You are all adults. You should be able to make your own conclusion of the news that you're being given. You don't have to believe it. You can believe it. I think you should be able to question it. But I don't know about this whole thing. But, look, I like Dana White to a degree. He's on the board. I think that's good. But again, if Kamala would have won, would this have taken place? But I was watching this video of Mark Zuckerberg. He kind of went after legacy media a little bit, talking about the fact checking, how they're gonna do something more like X is doing. It was a good video, but what's up? What's the reason behind the change? I mean, I will say once Zuckerberg started doing jujitsu and he was hanging out with fighters, his mindset started changing a little bit. But again, is he doing this for the right reasons? Probably not. It's business. Again, what's up with the change? He says that there's too much censorship. They're going back to the roots. What do you think? Comment down below. The hedge, debasement trade into Bitcoin and gold here to stay. JP Morgan. So look, gold had a nice day today, up $14. It's at $26.50. As I said, Bitcoin down 5,600 at 96.6 thousand. The article went on to say investors brace for persistent geopolitical uncertainty. No doubt about it. Look, you really got to think about what is the safe haven asset right now, and I would say gold by a long shot. This isn't financial advice, but the central banks are buying so much of it. And, crypto, Bitcoin, again, if you can gamble, if you can afford to lose it, if you can handle the volatility, God bless you. But I think, people are looking for options outside of the US dollar because there is definitely a lot of fear with inflation now. But my fear is they can unplug cryptos. We got hit with a cyber attack, grid down, no access to the internet. You are absolutely dead in the water. And again, you look at the central banks just backing up the trucks buying gold. What is it telling us? What do they know? TheEconomicCollapse.com, the truth about America's crumbling infrastructure. Here's what we know about this. Public investment in U.S. infrastructure as a share of GDP has fallen by more than 40% since the 1960s. The World Economic Forum now ranks the U.S. 13th when it comes to overall quality of infrastructure. In 2021, the White House website was reporting 45,000 bridges and 20% of our roads were in poor condition. Department of Transportation considers 6.8% of our 600,000 bridges in poor condition. That's 40,000 bridges, ladies and gentlemen, in poor condition, and people are driving over them every day. Millions of Americans are getting water from lead pipes. EPA estimates 9 million service lines are made of lead. I thought we were the greatest country in the world, the most wealthiest country, the most advanced country in the world. This does not reflect the most advanced, wealthiest nation in the world. Look at the airports, look at the subway systems, look at your roads, look at your bridges, look at your cities. They're falling apart, and we pay dozens. Now I'm gonna quote a couple of the different places we pay taxes in. And ask yourself where all this tax money is going. And there's dozens and dozens more, but building permit taxes, capital gains taxes, corporate income taxes, driver's license tax, you have food license tax, fuel permit tax, gasoline tax, gift tax, local income tax, luxury taxes, marriage license tax, property tax, payroll tax, roll toll taxes, social security tax, toll bridge tax, utility taxes, vehicle registration taxes. You have workers' comp taxes. Where's all the money going to? And there's dozens more. You're paying taxes on everything. Everything. Where is the money, ladies and gentlemen? Horrific AI images reveal what men will look like in 30 years due to an ultra-processed food diet. This was an interesting article, and this was on the Daily Mail. And they show a video of what a male gentleman looks like 30 years from now. Shoulders are all hunched over, big belly, pendulous moobs, man boobs. Legs are swollen, they're red, they're infected with sores, pre-diabetic. And this is all from bad eating habits, especially processed foods. We're all guilty of it, but we got to be really cutting a lot of this stuff out. Got to be working out, got to be taking care of yourself. Bad eating equals bad health, obesity, depression, anxiety, sleep problems, etc. And I was looking at this AI image of this gentleman today on the Daily Mail article here. And look, he looks like a majority of men today in the United States. I hate to say that, but he looks like a lot of people I know. He looks like a lot of people when I'm out in public, I see walking around. So I think it's going to be even worse in 30 years if we stay on this road of eating bad food, processed food, all this fast food, all this junk. And look, we're all guilty of this. But me personally, I've been cutting a lot of it out. I took a lot of your advice and I'm eating more at home. Just had some nice fish today and some rice for lunch. Had a nice breakfast. And speaking of breakfast, I was reading an article the other day on the cost of breakfast. I mean, you could easily go out to breakfast and spend $30 or $20 easily. If you want to spend 30, you can spend 30 on a breakfast today, depending where you go. But you can easily go to a decent joint and spend $20+ on a breakfast. I don't know how people are doing it, but getting back to health and the condition of people, we're going to be in very, very big trouble as a nation just with our healthcare system, which is going to be spending billions and billions of dollars just taking care of people who are so overweight, obese, and addicted to bad food. And the health of this nation is failing, I think, faster than the infrastructure of this nation. And if our people are not healthy, our infrastructure is not healthy, we're going to be in enormous trouble as a nation. Unhealthy people, unhealthy infrastructure. Not good, not a good combination. So again, I took a lot of your advice and I started eating at home, eating better food, quality food. And it's got me in better shape. And I plan to do that throughout the year, train harder, bumping up my workouts, training harder, and eating better. And it's a good combination. And, hopefully I get more benefit from that. And hopefully you're all doing the same thing. And look, you can start today. You can just start today. As Coach Lino, when he quit drinking, he said, look, I didn't need therapy. I didn't need to go to a doctor or, a priest, or I didn't have to talk to a professional. I just stopped. I just used my head and just stopped. Willpower. We have got to start using our willpower, mind over matter, and start, putting discipline and structure in our life. Nobody's perfect. I have my weaknesses, as we all do. But if we start today and we just try to work a little bit, improve a little bit, you don't have to go run a mile. Just walk around the block today. Go walk down the street. Just do something. Little by little, you just start building up, and you'll start seeing results. You're going to live a healthier, longer, better quality of life. Life isn't all about how much money you have, how much wealth you have, because I'll tell you, the people in the hospitals today would give you all their multi-millions of dollars if they could walk out of that hospital and be healthy as you are right now, just to be able to walk and talk and function. There's a lot of wealthy people out there that would give every dime they have to trade for your health today. So, money's one thing. We talk about it quite a bit, but our health is so important. Next to God, your health is really your number one asset, isn't it? I mean, if you cannot have a healthy life, what's the point? Again, people would give you everything they had to be healthy. I'm going to leave it there today. I don't want to rant. But a few things I wanted to talk about, and feel free to comment down below on any of this stuff you want to talk about or comment on, or anything that I didn't mention. Go ahead, feel free to comment on whatever you're thinking about today. Would really, really appreciate it. So we're seeing more volatility as Trump gets closer into the inauguration and taking office. We're seeing more volatility on the stock market. What a surprise! But I think we need to be aware that we're about to see a lot more volatility in these markets, in the cryptos, in the bond market. The bond market is really getting concerning. It is really moving up. And so it is warning everybody that inflation's not going away, that there are problems. And it is definitely flashing red and warning of something. And I think it's a lot of uncertainty. I think it's a lot of inflation. So pay attention to that bond market, that 10-year. It is flashing red and warning us of something. Stay tuned. Appreciate you tuning in today. Stay safe out there, and be praying for this country and this administration, ladies and gentlemen. It needs all the prayer it can get. Talk to all of you soon.